Hey everybody, happy new year! This is the first Spoilertastic comic review for the officially unofficial geek of 2022. So hi guys, I took a week off celebrating the holiday, but I am back for you today in my normal role as Spoilertastic comic reviewer. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know quite where to go with that one, except for the fact that I'm back and I'm here to talk to you about the comics I read last week. And there's some good ones, there's some bad ones, and here we are to talk about them. If you're new here, please go ahead, like, subscribe, comment when I'm done. Let me know what you think of the comics that I'm going to talk about today. Maybe recommend comics to me. I always welcome recommendations, but please, with no further ado, because it's new for 22. Hey, that kind of worked out. Awesome. This is the officially unofficial geek. I am Harley Quinn, and this is your spoiler-tastic comic review for that first week. So today I am drinking hot tea, English breakfast tea with a little bit of cream in it because I like it English style. And let's do this because you waited long enough, haven't you? Did you miss me? I hope you did, because right away we're going to talk about something that really was not good. And I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in it because I like DC. I like vampires and I love Wonder Woman. And they did her shitty. I am speaking, of course, of DC versus Vampires, number 3 out of 12. What the hell was that? Seriously, okay, here's the thing. I am not necessarily on the best terms with this writer because of Fear State, but let me tell you something. The way they did Wonder Woman was dirty. Wonder Woman first would now go and let a vampire just take her. Yeah, so that's the overwhelming major issue that I have with this whole goddamn thing, except for the fact that it was slightly boring. The end was way too formatic. It was there's way too much of a typical trait form to the ending of this issue. Guys, no. No. They did Wonder Woman dirty. Wonder Woman would not be like putting her lasso around someone, finding out that they're a vampire, that they've actually the ones that have killed everyone, and then be like, tee hee hee, I'll be a vampire too. Wonder Woman? Really, guys? Really? You're gonna do her dirty like that? Really? Let's just get that out of the way. Let's just get that out of the way. Oh, it's really cool. We have Black Canary in here too, and Green Arrow. And after reading this issue, I am not completely certain that Green Arrow and Black Canary know that Batman is also involved on their side of things, it seems, because Black Canary just, took a sample of Damian Wayne's blood just to see if he was a vampire or not. So, yeah, that happened. So I don't know. I might be done with this. They just like, if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know. I read this and I wanted my time back. I was like, I spent $3.99 for this? You don't. Right? Wonder Woman. Like a tee hee hee little girl. Like, Hal Jordan. No, Wonder Woman doesn't do that. Wonder Woman would find out he's the vampire that killed her friend and be like, what's up? We got problems. This is the same Wonder Woman that was the only one that could take on the Batman who laughs and succeed. And you gonna tell me that she's just gonna give in to the vampire? Bullshit. Bullshit. Try harder. Try harder. Vampires should be cool. Writing about vampires should be cool. Yes, yes. But Wonder Woman should never go down to a vampire that easily. If you agree what I say about this, I want a hell yeah in the comments. Believe me, I will like your comment. If you give me a hell yeah in the comments, I'll know that you totally get and totally agree with what I'm saying here about Wonder Woman versus a vampire. Yeah. Okay. I spent enough time lamenting about DC versus vampires. We're going to move on and we're going to move up to Detective Comics, Fear State Aftermath. There's nothing really horribly wrong about this. It is building up to give us the weekly Shadows of the Bat Detective Comics I guess event. It's going to be written by as far as I can tell, it's just going to be in Detective Comics. It's going to be weekly, 12 weeks. Okay, so we're just going to just run this on out there. Run it on out there. Batman's leaving. Not really talking about why. Though he seems to kind of be taking the whole, everything that happened during Fear State thing badly. Same Batman. Same. Though I think for different reasons. So, okay. So we've got a lot of information that could have been done, honestly, during exposition for the beginning issue of Shadows of the Bat. I'm not completely unhappy with it, but I'm also thinking, meh. I still love Tamaki, though. Still love Dan Mora. And I'm totally going to read Shadows of the Bat because, like, come on. Okay, so not really that big of a deal, but we do find out a little bit more information about how Dr. Chase Meridian is involved with this and how it seems like she was handpicked and kind of suggested by Batman, because now Batman and Mara Nakano have a shaky working relationship based on the end of what happened with the Hugh Vile storyline with the parasites and everything like that, because, well, Batman, for all intents and purposes, saved Nakano's ass. Huntress is still experiencing these weird premonition visions and everything like that, and that's interesting, and I hope they kind of carry that over. I imagine that that's the reason why they're mentioning it in this issue, because we're going to be seeing more of this whole situation. She does confide in some people about what's going on with her. We've got some Batwoman in here, which is pretty nice. Always like seeing some Batwoman, and it appears that we will be seeing some more Batwoman in the upcoming event, considering we get a good healthy dose of her here, and we've been getting a little bit of a dose of her in the Detective Comics issues during Fear State. So that is promising. I do anticipate maybe being a little bit entertained by this thing. So we'll see what happens. So moving on along to Action Comics number 1038. Gotta look at the numbers here because it's like 1038. Here we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I can tell you one thing that really annoys me about Action Comics right now, and it's not necessarily the writing. I'm still loving the story, guys. I'm still loving the story. It's more plot annoyances in that I'm kind of ticked off that the League of Planets and everyone like this is just like Superman's down and everything like that, and it's like, did I not see how this could have repercussions throughout the entire universe? Maybe that's the plan with the whole series, and that's why that had to happen. But I'm kind of like, I'm still reeling from last issue. Okay, but here we go. We have um Superman is of course not dead, guys. Thank you. Superman is not dead. Kal-El lives. Clark Kent is still here and not doing well though. So as you remember from the last couple of issues, when Clark Kent and his authority show up on World, they are met with not cheers of ecstasy and happiness. They are met with, well, leers. They're leering at him. They're booing him. They're, very unhappy because here's the thing: these people have been wearing their chains, and they accept the crap that they've been gotten. They've been getting from Mongol all this time. That as a people, their spirit is pretty broken. Um, so you have a situation where you have a lot of people wanting to believe, but they have had that idea kind of beaten beaten out of them basically as slaves. There's not a lot of hope. And what you see is Superman is holding on to that idea. Kal-El is still holding on to that idea, and whenever he gets the opportunity to show that, he's taking it. And you can tell by the end of the issue when people start kind of, listening, and people start being affected by his overall demeanor and message. You can tell that the idea is taking shape. And I'm sorry if I'm sniffling a lot. I have bad allergies, and I live in Illinois. But people are slowly and surely, this is a long game kind of thing, guys. This is going to be a slow burn, I can tell, because this is not going to be easy. But you can tell that things are happening. So hold on. Hold on. The next issue, we're going to move on. I'm going to tell you the next issue that we're going to talk about is the very wonderful Human Target. Oh my goodness. I never thought I would like a Tom King book so much, but the writing is fantastic. A lot of the time that I've had problems with Tom King, there's been exposition. The problem is that when you get this you don't, you do have exposition. You do have that, but it's a narration that I can stand. Okay? And I think that's what it is. I think it might just be characters that aren't necessarily something that I'm liking in other books that I've read. However, we have really great um, storyline going here with the human target. Issue 3, Book 3, otherwise known as Guy Gardner is a dick. Guy Gardner is a toxic mother. Guy Gardner needs to shut up. Guy Gardner is a bro of the worst variety. Anyways, despite the fact of all those things about Guy Gardner, it's precisely what makes this issue so goddamn entertaining. Is exactly that. It's exactly the bro of Guy Gardner. The toxicity of Guy Gardner is what makes this issue so great. That side note, also, Booster Gold, I would have never guessed would have ever opened a bagel restaurant, but I'm here for it. I want the Booster Gold bagel restaurant because he travels through time to get the best ingredients for his customers. I want to eat some of those bagels. Okay? I want Booster Gold bagels, and I don't care who knows it. But this is great. I love this. It has a definite limited series idea that you have the human target trying to figure out who poisoned him because he took the poison for Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor thought somebody was going to kill him, and that's why he hired the human target. And now the human target is still trying to figure out what went wrong. And he's got a total of 12 days. This is, each issue is a separate day. This is day 3. So, I am still here for that. I'm still into it. I'm still liking it a lot. And I love the very 60s mod art. Totally into it. Totally into it. Totally into it. So, the next issue we're going to talk about is the very wonderful Robin. Robin number 9. And if you do not have the feels from Robin interacting, from Damian Wayne interacting with the ghost of Alfred as he is in Damian's head, if you don't get the feels even just a little bit with that, I think you might need therapy. Because this is absolutely beautiful. Wonderful. Gosh darn great stuff. Because Damian went to this tournament, and you find out the reason you found out in a past issue that the reason he's here is because he feels he failed Alfred. And that alone makes you like want to like just fucking bawl. Right here, where Alfred gives him the best advice ever and says, you know what, you can defeat this, you can do this, and you know how you're going to do it, because even your father needed to ask for help, and you're going to just ask them for help. And so he does, and everybody bands together to defeat this demon. Well, it pisses off Mother Soul, so he succeeds. They defeat the demon, and it pisses off Mother Soul, and Mother Soul is like, I wouldn't have gotten away with it if it weren't for you pesky kids. So she sends Damien back in time, and it sounds hokey. It sounds hokey, but let me tell you something, guys. I'm kind of here for it because right away, Damien meets his grandfather, a young version of his grandfather, his grandmother, and his great grandmother. And you know what? I'm on board. I'm on board. I know that because there's an event coming up, another event, guys. Yeah, I know. I know. I know, but this is another one that is potentially going to be written by just one person, and that's Josh Williamson. So, reserving myself, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna have to actually bite the bullet and read some Deathstroke Inc. to deal with it because it's going to involve Deathstroke, and that's something to look forward to. It's going to involve Deathstroke, it's going to involve Damien, and it's going to involve Batman, and it's going to involve a whole cast of characters that I can't wait. I'm going to give it a shot because it's going to be one writer, and I think that's kind of there were too many there were, there were too many cooks in the kitchen when it came to Fear State. And I think that was the problem. There were too many cooks in the kitchen when it came to writers, and not enough cooks in the kitchen when it came to editors. And when we have a situation where we have one writer writing everything, every component of the story, I think that is going to be beneficial in the long run involving this next couple events. Plus, we got Trial of the Amazons coming up too, and I can't even be mad about that because that is a Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl and Amazon centric event. So I'm for it. I really am. And you know what else I'm for? Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn number 10. You guys know how much I love Harley Quinn. I got the Gotham Flamethrower shirt on for you today. I'm purposely letting you see my lovely Harley Quinn menagerie here on my bookshelf. We got this one, we got this one, we got this one. I love this. This was a great issue. It's nothing, it's not by any means my favorite issue of the week, but it is up there. Because basically, you know, we answer the question. We answer the question here, at least for the time being. What does Harley really want for herself? Harley has put a lot of effort and work into being who she's decided she wanted to be for herself, and that is a hero. She's not always the best at it. She's not always perfect, and that's one of the things that we love about Harley. Harley, if correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things we love about Harley is the fact that she tries. She keeps trying. She tries. And she genuinely wants to be this person now. And you want to know how we know? Because she got tempted. She got tempted and she didn't eat the fruit. That fruit being poison ivy, the love of Harley Quinn's life, is not ready to take that path with her. Not ready to take the path of hero, and Harley lets her go. Instead of backtracking into who she used to be, Harley lets her go. Obviously, it is heartfelt and beautiful. And, Harley is like, you know what, I love you, but I'm doing this. I've got this thing going on with, the former clowns and helping them. the former Joker henchman, helping them. I got this thing going. I really am feeling benefits from working with the Bat family and making Gotham good. Um, it feels good to her. And she's really made a lot of change and positive change in her life. And it was really beautiful for her to be like, you know what, I love you, but I love me more. Which is not something that was probably very easy for a character like Harley Quinn to be written that way. Considering a lot of times you have most of the stories of Harley Quinn um, up to this point being written in a way that kind of is like she's always serving something else and not herself. Um, Harley Quinn serving someone else, something else, and not herself. And it was one of those things where it's like, she loves Poison Ivy. Obviously, everything that she's gone through to do right by Pamela, by her Pammy, but she's also done everything she can to do right by herself. And it's kind of like, you know what, I love you, but I love me more. And maybe someday we'll be on the same path as basically, she's just like, basically, maybe someday we'll be on the same path. And when you are, if you are, come find me, I'll be here. But for now, I love me more. And cheers, Harley Quinn. Cheers. Because perfect. Perfect. Speaking of near perfect, got two more comics to talk about, and the first one I'm going to be talking to you about right now is Swamp Thing Green Hell. Oh my goodness, guys. This. The Green is pissed off at humans. Who could blame the Green to be pissed off at humans for everything that we've done? The whole idea of Swamp Thing as a character, as an idea, as anything, along with being, into poison ivy and everything like that, like dealing with all itchies and hiccups. Wow, that sucks. The idea of climate change and having to deal with that and eventually the Green as a living, breathing thing is now like, let's get rid of humans. We're just gonna go ahead and get rid of humans now because they suck. And let's face it, guys, we suck. Okay? And we're gonna create this new avatar of the Green. And their purpose is to eliminate mankind. And so these humans are like, the fuck, okay? And so this old guy goes, and these kids are, are told these stories from this old guy about the lighthouse and somebody lives inside the lighthouse, and everybody's like, don't tell them about the lighthouse, okay? Stop telling them those tales. And the old guy's like, yeah, guys, but totally the lighthouse, okay? So you get like this guy like being like the lighthouse, and eventually when everything starts going to major shit, and you've got this new avatar of the Green coming out and he's going to start killing humans. Well, he hasn't started killing humans. He's already killing humans that he encounters. This old guy and a little girl escape to go and they're like, no, we're going to the lighthouse. The guy's like, we gotta go over there. Because the only thing that's really going to help this situation is if we go over there. And lo and behold, I'm reading this whole thing thinking, because I had heard the rumors and everything like that, that there's going to be a Swamp Thing versus a Swamp Thing, and blah, 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 everything's going to happen. I'm thinking that the being inside the lighthouse that everybody's trying to tell this guy to not tell the kids about, to avoid, everybody avoids the lighthouse. I'm thinking like the being that's inside the lighthouse is gonna be like one of the other Swamp Things. Like, I had heard that Alec Holland was going to be involved. Okay, so I was wrong. The being inside of the lighthouse is old man Constantine, still smoking like a chimney. He is there, and he's like, okay guys, so here's the thing. I got just the idea. All right, I got just the plan, and it's gonna work. And so he's like, okay, so he does his magic thing, and then Swamp Thing appears, and it is Alec Holland's Swamp Thing, and he's like, you bitch, I was doing okay, and you call me? You? Constantine? You screwball? You call me? And Constantine's like, well, sorry, dude, but it was all I can think of to do because apparently we need you to protect us from the green. Cheers. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back. So I'm sold. Um, I am definitely sold on this series. I'm very into it. I love it. I am excited. And so yet another book about Swamp Thing that I'll be reading. It's okay though. I'm fine with it. So other than that, it was kick-ass and can't wait to see what happens next. And that brings me to my book of the week. And sorry guys, I love it. I know a lot of people aren't loving it, but Task Force Z number 3, sorry, but it's good. And considering this issue right here, if you haven't been reading Task Force Z, pick it up. I'll get you caught up. Maybe you don't need to read the other two, but here, I'll get you caught up. Okay, so here's the deal. Jason Todd has been tasked by some weird and, guy that he, is just in the shadows and is kind of like this whole like Charlie's Angels kind of thing, except like completely demented. So you got this guy named Crispin, and he's kind of like the Charlie. And basically what they've got going on here is they've got a bunch of dead villains. And the dead villains are being kept satiable and alive by this new Lazarus resin. And what they did was they got Jason Todd, Mr. Red Hood himself, Mr. Hottie McHottie, comic book boyfriend, to come in and lead this group. Anyways, so they end up in a situation where he's recruiting people, like dead people, right? And they're going out and trying to get more of this Lazarus resin type stuff, right? So they go and they find Deadshot. And they get him, right? So that's where we're at this point. So one of the villains that Jason Todd is kind of handling and leading is Bane. Now, ain't that awkward? Ain't that awkward? If you don't know why that's awkward, and then let me explain why that's awkward, because Jason Todd is Red Hood. Jason Todd is also a former Robin. Robin being Batman's sidekick. So he feels a little bit upset still, with good reason, to the fact that Bane basically killed Alfred during the City of Bane storyline that was written by Tom King. Bane murders Alfred, like for real, for real, for real. Guys, like snaps his neck kind of thing. And let's just say, Jason Todd, with good reason, is not quite over that whole situation, and but hasn't done anything about it. Up till here. So Jason is leading this pack of called Task Force Z, and they are former villains that are now being given in minimal amounts this thing, Lazarus resin, and supposedly if they do so many and complete their tasks, then they'll be given a larger amount that will restore them completely. But for now, to keep them basically ready and willing, uh, they're only being given a little amount at a little bit amount of time here and there. And so you find out in this issue, um, and it's a complete ruse that one of the characters gets Jason to sneak out with her to go get some pizza, and they're talking, and you find out from Jason that he's not quite into this whole idea because one, kind of the way they're going about this, and two, because he has to deal with Bane, and this woman is trying to get him, this other team member is trying to get him to forgive Bane, and he's like, about it, and yeah, you know what? Don't forgive Bane. Fuck Bane, right? So he goes, and Jason, because he's fantastic, goes and is talking to Crispin, who is still anonymous, and he's the basically the Charlie of this demented Charlie's Angels, um, and he's just like, you know what, I would really like it if you guys like up the dose that you're giving these zombies of this Lazarus resin to um, kind of prevent the idea of them trying to kill me again, because actually earlier on in the book, at the end of last issue, we had a situation where Jason was shot by Deadshot, and we've also had a number of close calls throughout these couple issues. First couple issues involving the zombies and their reactions to Jason Todd. Um, so Jason successfully convinces Crispin and that crew to give them a little bit more to make Jason feel a little bit better about the prospect of him not getting eaten or killed by zombies. But what does that do? Giving them a little bit more of the resin basically means that they are a little bit more themselves as they were when they were human, alive, that kind of thing. So we get to the point where they are going to go to try to pick up and intercept this batch of Lazarus resin um, from the what is it, Cult of Cobra or something like that. Um, and one, all of a sudden, Cheshire Cat, Jade, shows up and starts beating the crap out of everyone. And you're wondering, when you're reading this, right? You're wondering, why? Because if you've been reading Catwoman, you know that in continuity, Cheshire Cat is part of Clayface's Second Chance crew. Now, why? Why would she be showing up to beat up Jason Todd and his team if she's trying to get a second chance. Well, you find out she's been hired to do this. Well, who has hired her, and why is she doing this still? Because she's part of Clayface's second chance crew. Has it really gone downhill that quickly for her? When in the last issue of Ron V's Catwoman, we see Cheshire Cat actually, unbeknownst to her, meeting her daughter. Has it really gone downhill for Cheshire Cat that quickly? Well, probably not, guys, because right after Cheshire Cat gets knocked out by Bane, Bane and Jason have this conversation, and Bane's like, by the way, Crispin told me that you asked him to up our Lezerin resin amounts, so actually I'm beginning to feel more like myself when I was human, when I was alive. And Jason's like, oh, okay, well, so your memories of who you were, do you have any of your memories? Bane's like, yeah, I mean, I'm piecing together things. And Jason just hauls off and like starts beating him, going at him full tilt, right? And he's just like, do you know why I'm doing this? Do you know why I'm doing this? And he's like, Bane's like, yes. And he's like, say it. And Bane says, Alfred Pennyworth. And then Jason knocks him off a tall building. Yeah. When he says, you know why I'm doing this? I swear to God, it was like the feels. It's like, I am beating the crap out of you because you are now, by me convincing that guy to give you more of this Lazarus resin, you now remember who you are. And I am now within my moral compass to beat the crap out of you because of what you did to Alfred. So he pushes Bane off this side of a tall building, and Bane is lost. So Jason calls for the extraction, and then you find out next that he's gone rogue. Jason Todd is not where he's supposed to be. And you thinking that the whole idea of Jason Todd pushing Bane off the side of the building in honor, in retaliation for Alfred's death was enough to make this issue my number one issue of the week. If you're thinking that, yeah, you're right. Because I was thinking that, I was like, oh my God, I am so goddamn affected by this. Because we, up until this point, had seen a lot of Nightwing being, the aftermath of Alfred. We've seen a lot of Bruce, Batman, being affected by the aftermath of Alfred's death. Damian, obviously, in Robin. And here we have finally this moment. The moment I personally have been waiting for, where Jason Todd is just like, screw everyone. This is for Alfred. That's enough to make this my number one comic of this week, because I'm pretty salty at the fact that Bane killed Alfred. And who isn't? Okay? But it's the moment where Jason Todd goes missing. And they're trying to figure out, and his Crispin's lackeys call him like all frantic, like, Jason's missing. And you see Jason is sitting there in the shadows. And he figures out there's been this whole question up until now. Who's Crispin? You ready? Look at that. Two-Face. Motherfucking Two-Face, guys. Motherfucking Two-Face. Now I want to know something. I want to know who hired Cheshire Cat. Maybe we'll find out in the next issue. I'm really into this now, by the way. I was into it before. I'm now even more into it. Okay, so, sorry. I love Task Force Z. Not just because it has my comic book boyfriend, Jason Todd, but because it's actually getting good. Read it if you haven't already. Believe me. I told you. You know, start at number 3. If issue 1 was too whatever for you, start at issue 3 because retaliation for Alfred. Vengeance for Alfred. Vengeance for Alfred. And that reveal on that final page, and it was like literally like you flip the goddamn page right there. Fucking Two-Face. Two-Face. What? Okay. Yeah. All right. So guys, if you don't understand why that's the comic of the week here, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, except for that's all I got for you today. That's all I got for you today. Guys, I really have wonderful plans. Hopefully they come to fruition for the new year. And I'm still here doing this weekly with you guys, my Spoilertastic comic review. I'm gonna make a commitment to get through some of these trade paperbacks that I have here, and I'll do reviews for those. I am considering doing a MCU chronological rewatch of the MCU. I got some unboxings that are going to be coming up soon. I just doing the best I can to get everything I can out there. Content for you because I love doing this. And I hope you like what I'm putting out there as well. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this shit down with a very happy new year. My wish to you, very happy new year. And I am almost hit that 1 year mark of my channel. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to celebrate that or whatever, but I'm almost there. And it's been really great being the officially unofficial geek. I feel like it's really something that's really me, and I love doing it, and hopefully someday it can just be as big as I want it to be. But please, if you're new here, like, share, comment, all that stuff. Tell me what you thought about the comics I read this week. Tell me about the comics you read. Maybe you have a recommendation for me that I haven't read yet, and hey, why not? Give it a shot. Okay, so until next time, this is the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Roundup for the Officially Unofficial Geek. My name is Carrie Quinn. I am your host as always, every week, every time. I am here giving you the best that I can in comics, pop culture, news, and reviews. Please like, share, subscribe, get down on this because I'm doing this for you every week. And happy 2022. Let's make it a good one, shall we? So until next time, I'll be seeing ya.